Hey everyone, second video of my booktube channel, I think. Depends on what I edit first. But for this video, I'm going to talk about my January 2025 wrap-up. I read 7 books in total. This last one, the 7th one, kind of ran into February a little bit. February. It ran into Feb a little bit. And I'm still going to count it because most of it I read in Jan. So I'm just going to count it. Also, I did like that Lady Gaga voiceover that was like, no sleep, bus, plane. Yeah, that one. That one had like 7 or 8 beats to it, you know? And that's why I included 7 books because it fit perfectly. So I started Crave series by Tracy Wolff. Y'all, it's a dumpster fire, but you just can't look away. I'm having so much fun reading it, but I also bang my head against the wall because Grace's monologues are just so long and unnecessary. She just keeps on repeating and repeating the same things over and over again. Okay? And it's like 5 pages of just her thoughts in her head, you know, which could have just been an email. It's too much. It's like Tracy Wolff has a word count to hit. Like her publisher was like, yeah, I need 1,000 pages worth of a book. And that's why she's just writing and writing. But I really like the series in that, first of all, it's YA. I've been going back to YA series a lot just because I don't mind spice. I don't mind smut. It's just these new adult books, it's all they write. Like there's no story. And this Crave series doesn't have like an amazing story either, but there is some plot. It's a dumpster fire of a plot, but it's there. Okay, I'm just gonna get into it because I finished Crave the first book on the 10th and I rated it 2 stars. I needed a push, and that's why I Crave, just the first book, Crave, I listened to the graphic audio. So graphic audio has 2 parts. And I really didn't need to, but I really wanted the graphic audio because Crave, the entire series, all 6 books, audiobooks and ebooks are available on Libby, the app, and they were ready to borrow, I think. But I was like, no, I need a push. So graphic audio can make me read or listen to like anything. That's why I picked up Crave the first book graphic audio, but the rest of the second and the third book I just read like the regular audiobooks. And their audiobooks, that's Crave series, it's available on Audible for free as well, as long as you have the Audible membership, but you don't have to use your credits. So it's an incentive. It's also available on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, that's there too. So, you know, there's a lot of ways to read it for free. Okay, so Crave the series is like, it's set in Alaska, which I liked, but also I don't think Tracy Wolff herself has ever lived in Alaska because some of the descriptions and how she was describing the life there was kind of iffy. Like some is the winter stuff is applicable, but the other stuff, and I was so jealous because she kept bringing up Northern Lights, and it's like my life's dream to see the auroras, either one. Borealis, Australis, I'll see either. I really, really wanted to see Australis first, but I mean, beggars can't be choosers. And I'm the biggest beggar there to see the auroras. Anyway, segue, but yeah, she mentions auroras a lot. That's like a whole thing, which makes sense because when in Alaska. I mean. Anyway, the first book follows Grace. She is a human. Her parents died because how can you even write a YA book if the parents are alive? You know, there's no way. The parents have to be dead. The parents needs to go. They need to go. So her parents died in a car accident. She has an uncle who is the headmaster of a private school in Alaska. So she's being shipped off to Alaska because he's her only living relative or something like that. And also she wanted a change of scenery because California was just bringing up a lot of memories of her parents, basically. There she meets Jackson Vega, the broody, dark-haired boy. Guess if he's the main character. He is, obviously. And this book is about paranormal. So the school is like a paranormal school. So all the factions and stuff. I don't think this is any spoilers, but yeah, that's like, I needed to go in depth for the first book because I mean, I need to explain the second and the third. So this gives like a background, sort of. And Uncle Finn, he's her uncle. He's a warlock and he has a daughter, Macy. And so she's her cousin. They're witches. So that's the rundown. Okay? That's the first book. Also, the first book was 575 pages. It came out in 2020. It kind of reads like something that came out in like 2013-ish. I will say one thing about Crave, the series, that I really, really enjoyed was the representation. And it wasn't like in your face or weird or anything. It was just, the characters were just a different race or like sexuality. She didn't go in depth or weirdly over explain. They were just, that was their description and that was it, which I really appreciated. Also, Grace has curly hair. She mentions that a lot, so that's also another thing to know. And then I really picked up a good book. I picked up A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So it has 3 books, like proper novels, and then it has a novella, which is like a 0.5 kind of thing. So it's like 0.5. So there's 0.5, 1, 2, 3. That's what I mean. And Killjoy, I had finished on like July 10th, 2024. And I really needed to pick up Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but they weren't available on Libby. Like, they were available, but there was a wait time. So I put them on hold. And then I finally got them available, audiobooks and ebooks, through my library. And I finished the first book in like a day and a half or 1 day. So that should tell you. And the book is 433 pages, or I think like 11, 12 hours. So I watched the BBC series first, and it was really good. And the book, it follows the book well, but there are a couple changes in it. So I rated this book 4 stars. It only goes up from here, by the way. So it follows Pip and Ravi. Mostly Pip. Pip is the main character, and it's solely through her POV. But Ravi is like her sidekick / love interest. But don't look at love interest and stuff, because I wouldn't classify these books as romance, okay? They're like thriller, murder, mystery. The first one is a murder mystery. So she's looking into the death of Andy Bell. And Andy Bell's boyfriend, Sal Singh, was the one who was publicly convicted, not through the court, just through the public's view. And he committed suicide. And 5 years later, Pip is being a detective and uncovering this. And she gives like an excuse for her to do the detective work, look into this cold case, is that she wants to do it as her senior project, basically. So that's it. Also, I just want to say I love this genre of murder mystery, of this one blonde girl dying and then all her secrets coming out. There's so many. There's Danica Frendier, there's Alison De Laurentiis, then there's more. I've written this down because there were like so many. Oh, okay, here we go. Alison De Laurentiis, Danica Frendier, Andy Bell, Amy Dunn, maybe, and Lily Kane from Veronica Mars. It's like they're all blonde. I don't know what it is about just blonde girls going missing and all their secrets coming out as a genre, but it's a genre. The reason Pip also wanted to, like, she gives the reason as her senior project, but the real reason she wanted to look into this case was that she doesn't think Sal Singh did it, okay, basically. And this whole book is just Pip digging around, uncovering the murder mystery entanglement, basically. Okay, now the second book, Good Girl, Bad Blood. This one was 413 pages. So this book, Pip, she starts a true crime podcast, okay? And she basically released episodes of all her discoveries of Andy Bell and Sal Singh. And she's trying to find, or no, she's like, I'm hanging up my detective cap. I don't want to do this anymore because it got really dark by the end of the book, but we haven't seen dark yet. Here's how I would suggest to read this A Good Girl's Guide to Murder book series. I would say read the first book first. So A Good Girl's Guide to Murder first. Then read Killjoy, which is the novella, because that helps with the characters in the second book, Good Girl, Bad Blood. And then read As Good as Dead, which is the third book. Because we meet the two brothers that are heavily featured in the second book in the novella. And I kind of wanted to pick the novella up again just so I could get back to the characters and go through their head, basically. But my library had a long wait time and I wasn't doing all that. So in this series, in this book, Jamie Reynolds, Pip's friend's brother, goes missing. And Jamie has pulled this stunt once or twice before. So you know the police aren't going to do anything about it. So his brother, let me look up his name. Okay, Jamie Reynolds' brother, Connor Reynolds, is in Pip's, like, friend group, okay? And Connor, like, begs Pip to please look into his brother's disappearance, because Connor and his mom think that Jamie didn't just, like, run away. It's something's very wrong. And so Pip starts looking into it as, like, a favor to Connor. And then things start getting dark. So here's the thing that should be mentioned for the BBC series is that they missed a character who is crucial, like almost a main character in the second book. So that's going to be a problem if they decide to continue with this series, because season 2 would be the second book. And I don't know how they're going to reintroduce the character. And Nat De Silva is also a major player in this book. So if you liked her character, she makes an appearance and they go really in depth. They also changed who Nat De Silva was to Andy in the first series. I would say in the series, they make Andy Bell out to be nicer than she was shown in the book. In the book, she was really shown as kind of a devil, like almost Alison De Laurentiis, a little bit less than Alison De Laurentiis, but close to Alison De Laurentiis, okay? So yeah, now I read that second book in a day too. And then the third book I also read so fast. I was speeding through. I would say that the third book wouldn't even classify as YA. It is really dark. As I was reading through it, I was like, there is no way 15, 16, 17 year olds should be reading this. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would classify it fully as adult, but there's some concerning themes in it, and I think people should proceed with caution, okay? There's a lot of murder, and more than the first two books, which should tell you something. So in the finale, Pip is like finishing up on her college and trying to finish up her high school, basically, because she is a senior. And in this book, there's a serial killer involved. Okay, so that's intriguing. And in this book, she tries to solve who the serial killer is. So technically, the police had already arrested the serial killer, and he's called the duct tape killer, basically the DTK, and he's behind bars. But Pip doesn't think that it's the correct DTK, so she tries to look into that. That's her third season for her podcast, and she gets a lot of hate. Like, nobody believes her. In this book, she's quite alienated and really angry. Also, she's kind of a drug addict. So there's some drug themes in it too. And it's not laughing, it's just like, how is this a YA? That's why I'm kind of like laughing. But yeah, basically. And the DTK killer, like the real one, is kind of taunting her, and she's getting a lot of prank calls, which aren't prank, they're like threatening calls. And obviously, again, she goes to the police, and again, the police are like, this is just regular stalking, threatening, blah, blah, blah. No. Throughout the first, second, third books, Max Hastings is also a big feature, but he's like a villain antagonist of sort. So he's a rapist, basically. And in the second book, he's put on trial. I think throughout the book he's on trial, and we hear all the trial details and everything. And I don't want to spoil it, so I won't say anything. But yeah, he makes a feature in the third book too. So yeah, those are all the major players. I think I've kept it mostly spoiler free. I give both the second and the third book 5 stars. And then the first book was 4 stars for me, and Killjoy, I think, was 3. Yeah, 3. So, and oh my god, I loved the third book so much, but I understand a lot of people hated it because they thought that Pip's character did a whole 180 and she got a little bit too dark, and that their like sunshiny positive girl was gone. But the way, if you read these books and understand the themes and just the story, the things that Pip went through, there's no way she was going to stay a positive, sunshiny girl, you know? She was about to be like really dark and messed up. So I don't understand people's the reviewers like review of saying that, oh, it got too dark, but I don't know. That's just the things that happened were kind of really dark. So obviously she also kind of lost it, basically. She has a lot of PTSD in the third book. Okay, on to Crush by Tracy Wolff, the second book in the Crave series. In this book, Hudson Vega comes back. I don't think I mentioned it, but Hudson Vega is Jackson's older brother, and he is framed as the villain in the first book where Jackson had to kill Hudson. And he was like, I'm so powerful. I'm more powerful than Hudson. And that's why I took his life, because he was turning evil and he was killing everyone. Like, he killed all the maid vampires and werewolves. So there's vampires and werewolves who are born, but then there's also made ones. And Hudson killed them and they framed it as like a genocide where Hudson thought he was like born vampires were better than made ones, basically. And that's what is basically the theme of the first book. And at the end of the first book, Hudson comes back and he tries to like kill Jackson, and then Grace gets in the middle because Jackson's her mate. I don't think that's a spoiler. Okay, that's just a given. Anyway, she gets in between Jackson and Hudson and turns into stone. Ton ton ton. Grace is a gargoyle, basically. And then the second book starts with her coming back into her human form because she's been stoned. She's been stoned. And it's been 4 months, I think, that she's gone. If I'm wrong, I'll put it on screen. But yeah, basically. And then Hudson is inside her head. He, like, when she turned them both to stone, she took Hudson with her in her head, basically. It's so convoluted. I should have made notes. Please bear with me because I haven't made any notes. So it's going to be really, because Crave series is all over the place, and this video is also going to be all over the place because why wouldn't it be? So Hudson is back with vengeance, and then he's trying to drive a wedge between Jackson and Grace. But basically, I'm just going to give a little overview on what the plot is. But Hudson and Grace are back. Hudson is in Grace's head. The whole gang, Grace's friends, the gang, is trying to take Hudson out of Grace's head and turn him human, basically. So they have to find these 5 objects that will pull Hudson out of Grace's head and turn him human. But if they have 4 objects, Hudson can come out of Grace's head, but he'll be a vampire. But you can't have that because he tried to commit genocide. So they're trying to find 5 objects. And that's basically the whole thing. That's it. And that whole thing is 704 pages long. And the audiobook was like 21 hours or something. Let me pull up the stats because too much. Oh, Crush audiobook was 18 hours, 8 minutes. So, yeah. Just absolute nonsense. But fun. I will say this. It's like a wild ride. I gave it 3 stars. I feel like this entire series is going to be a solid 3 stars for me. So, then, let's see. I read King of Pride, the second book in King of Sin series by Anna Wong. I'll say this. This book was also a classic 3 stars for me, in that it was like I ran through it. I think I read it in like a day or 2. It was like fast read. The plot was there. It's just, it wasn't fully satisfying, you know? You connect with the characters and you kind of like them, but I feel like Anna Huang just doesn't go fully in depth enough. It just leaves you kind of unsatisfied. And by you, I mean me. It kind of leaves me unsatisfied with her books a little bit. I do speed read through all her books though, because I run through them. They're fun. I'll accept it. All the entire Twisted series, the entire Kings of Sin series, I ran through them. They were fun. I read the second book, like I listened to it, and I read the ebook too. So it was like a dual tandem read. And I think Anna Huang's all her books are available on Kindle Unlimited. And her Twisted series was available on my library app, so I got it on Libby. I bought King of, what is it, Greed? No. King of Wrath. I bought King of Wrath with my one Audible credit because it is worth all of the credits, okay? It is so good. I listened to King of Pride too. It was okay. Their narration was meh. I liked Isabella's narrator more than I liked Kai's. I also really connected with Isabella the most out of all her female main characters. So I think so far I've read all 4 books that are out in Kings of Sin series, and I've read her all 4 books in the Twisted series. So there's 8 female main characters and 8 male main characters, and Isabella so far is my favorite female main character. And then for the male main character, it's Dante. Okay, it's whatever. Okay, at the start of the book, Isabella is a bartender working at Walhalla. That's how I'm gonna say it. It's like the ultra uber rich people's club that is uber, like, no one's allowed in unless you're very wealthy or you know people. Basically, that's, yeah, exclusive. That's what I was searching for. It's uber exclusive. So she bartends there, and they have a strict policy of no fraternization between employees and their members. Okay, and Kai Young is a member there, and he's the CEO of Young Media. So his family basically controls all the media, and he is Chinese. He's from Hong Kong, and he's like a straight-laced, reserved, controlled, proper to a fault, and Isabella is more like chaos. Okay, so that's like their opposites attract. Isabella also has amazing purple hair, so there's that. And basically the plot is that they get together, okay? And then they can't stay together because she works there and he's a member, and it's against the rules. So, and then she also has to write a book. So she wants to become a writer, basically. And she's trying to write, but she has like a major writer's block. And the reason I connected with her so much was because she has major procrastination issues, which I do too, to the max. Okay, so I really liked going in her head with that. And then in the end, it's like, it's a happy ending. Okay, all Anna Huang books are a happy ending. So yeah, that's how that ends. And then I ended the month with a bang, which went into February a bit. So I finished with Covet, the 3rd book in the Crave series. Okay, I rated that a 3-star as well. And it has a dumpster fire in the Goodreads thing too. I'll read the book description. I may have reached my breaking point, as if trying to graduate from school for supernaturals isn't stressful enough. My relationship status has gone from complicated to straight up dumpster fire. Oh, and the bloodletter has decided to drop a bomb of epic proportions on all of us. Then again, when has anything at Catmere Academy not been intense? And the hits just keep coming. Jackson's turned colder than an Alaskan winter. The circle is splintered over my upcoming coronation. As if things couldn't get worse, now there's an arrest warrant for Hudson's and my supposed crimes, which apparently means a lifetime prison sentence with a deadly, unbreakable curse. Choices will have to be made, and I fear not everyone will survive. It's just so funny. Anyway, Camier Academy is the elite school, by the way. I think I didn't mention. Again, this video is just all over the place. Vomit of my mind, basically. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for whoever is tuning in. I hope you're watching this on 2x speed. Anyway, in this book, basically, Grace is trying to get back to her and Jackson's mating bond. It broke in the last book, by the way. And also, guess what? She's made it to Hudson. Dun dun dun! Who didn't see this coming? Anyway, they find out what was wrong with Jackson and her mating bond in this book through the blood letter. She's a character. I'm not going to go into who she is, but yeah. And then Hudson, like, kind of disintegrated his dad, killed him, but he came back in the last book. So Cyrus, his father, the vampire king, has an arrest warrant for Hudson. So as long as Hudson stays at Camier Academy, he can't be arrested. So he's safe on Camier grounds. But as soon as he graduates and steps a foot outside Camier, he can be arrested and sent to this supernatural prison that no one comes out of. It's super hard to get out. It's basically a lifetime sentence. And vampire lives forever, so it's a forever sentence for him. And since Grace is his mate, and it's really hard for mates to be apart, Grace can choose to go with Hudson, basically. Anyway, they're trying to figure out how to break out of the prison in case Hudson goes there, or to, like, stop him from getting arrested. And it's so bizarre, because it's like, obviously this should be your priority, right? But then she's like, oh, we need to, like, find out how to break out of the prison, or, oh, we need to find out how to stop Cyrus and from him trying to take over the world and killing everybody. But I also need to figure out how to, like, graduate high school. And it's like, girl, who cares if you graduate high school? Like, this is obviously priority number one. But for some reason, she was like, no, I need to graduate. And not giving, like, her 100% to find out about the prison. It's like, if I was in this situation, my whole 100% focus would be on, like, the prison issues and not, like, stopping Cyrus and not going to prison. That would be my focus. But apparently that is not Grace and gang's focus, which I don't understand. Anyway, the book ends with, like, they go to prison, they come out of the prison, and the book ends at Flint losing a leg. So yeah. Anyway, yep, that was the 7 books. This was all over the place. Editing me is going to hate myself, but it is 3:40. It's 3:40 a.m. My thing is in 24 hours, so it's 3:40 a.m. So I'm ready to go to sleep. Anyway, that was it. If you want to let me know what you read in January, please do. I love reading comments. I will scroll through comments for hours. So please drop, like, the dumbest comments. I'll read them. Anyway, bye-bye.